Are you interested in knowing more about Oklahoma? Are you considering moving here but just want to know more of what it's like? There are burning questions deep in your mind like, do they live in teepees? Do they ride horses? Do they drive trucks? What's a boomer sooner? Things like that you're dying to know, but you're too embarrassed to just ask me. Well, I'm here for you. I'm Natalie Bratton with RE/MAX First in Oklahoma City, and today I'm going to answer your burning questions about Oklahoma. Okay, so you have burning questions about Oklahoma, and some of them are better questions than others, I'd say. But what happened is I went to Google and I asked Google, what are the top questions people ask about Oklahoma? And frankly, I'm a little surprised. And today I'm going to answer those top questions for you. Number 1, have you ever been in a tornado? Indirectly, yes. So I've never been swept away in a tornado. I've never had a tornado hit my house or where I was physically, but I have seen plenty of tornadoes. So typically what happens is we know they're coming in advance, and we have sirens and they go off. And so what we do is we go out on the front porch and we see where the tornado is. And then when it gets close enough, we then take shelter. A lot of times they die out before they get to the populated areas. But yeah, a lot of times tornadoes form out in the plains and empty spaces. And the way the temperature changes and the energy changes when you get to a heavily populated area, sometimes that causes the tornado to fall apart or get smaller. So a lot of times they don't come into heavily populated areas, but that's not always the case. Have you ever been cow tipping? No. Next question. Did you marry your cousin? No. Next question. Does everyone in Oklahoma drive a truck? No, but a lot of us do. Trucks are really good to have around. Not only do you get a nice comfortable cab to sit in, but there's all this storage in the back. Have you seen them? You can do a lot with the truck. Basically, here in Oklahoma, we don't have very much street parking. A lot of us have driveways, and all our shopping places have parking lots. So in real urban areas where you all have to park on the street, then no, having a big SUV or a truck is not very useful because it's too big to take anywhere. But here in Oklahoma, we have the space for it, and a lot of people drive trucks. In Oklahoma, is everyone obsessed with college football? Okay, no, not everyone is obsessed with college football, but it is a big deal here. We are really big on the University of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State University sports, especially football. And so good friends and good neighbors pretend to care about it even if they don't. It's important if you move here to at least have a working knowledge of the two teams and when they play. No, it is not okay to schedule your child's birthday party during an OU football game. Do not think about getting married during like the Big 12 playoff games. No, don't do it. Know at least the schedule and who the two teams are, and then be willing to listen to your friends talk about it and smile and nod, and you'll be just fine. Next question. Do you live on a farm? No, I live in the city, so not many farms in the city. Yes, there are countless number of farms throughout the state, but within the metro city area, not very many farms. The first time I met somebody who had cows was when I was 16. So no, I don't live on a farm. Are there trees in Oklahoma? Yes. Okay, so yeah, there are miles and miles of open plains where the wind comes sweeping down the plains. That is true. But there are also plenty of areas that are wooded. In fact, a lot of lumber comes from southeast Oklahoma. The eastern side of the state has a lot of rolling hills and forests. And then even in Oklahoma City and Edmond, the east side of Oklahoma City and Edmond has more trees than the west side. Yeah, you just have to know where to look to find them. Is the dirt really red? Yes, our soil is a red clay through much of the state. It's not red like your car is red or red lipstick, but it is red. It's a reddish brown clay. It will stain your white clothes. So don't go rolling around in the dirt if you're wearing white shorts. Simple as that. Do you know any Indians? Yes. Okay, so we call them Native Americans now, for those of you who are putting this on Google. Native Americans look just like everybody else. I'm a 16th Cherokee. I have several friends who are card-carrying Native Americans. There's no reservations like to live on within 50 miles of Oklahoma City, but there are still some reservations. And no, they don't live in teepees. They live in regular houses like the rest of us. When you call me up and you say I want to buy a house, I don't ask you if you want brick or animal hide. Native Americans live here just like everybody else. So if you want to live in a teepee, you can't live in a teepee. But if you want to stay in a teepee, there are tourist places where you can go and spend the night in a teepee. The Orr Family Farm in southwest Oklahoma City has teepees. There's a couple of state parks that have them. It's basically camping where you don't have to bring the tent because the teepee is there for you. So if you want the experience, you can go and spend the night in a teepee for a small fee. Okay, the last question for today is a good question. Boomer Sooner. The University of Oklahoma, they are the Sooners. That's their mascot name. And they yell Boomer Sooner. What is that? Okay, so this was Indian Territory. And like it or not, the United States government decided that they were going to help people settle in this area by offering free land to anyone who was willing to move here in 1889. So in 1889, they invited everyone to line up at the border, and at noon, they shot a gun, and everyone was able to run in. We call it the land run. You could run, ride a bike, horse, wagon, train. You could get into Indian Territory however you wanted, and you could claim a piece of land and then go to the land office and get the deed for it and start a new life here. It was a lot of immigrants, which is good. Irish, Italian, Polish, Czechoslovakian, lots of people wanting to move into this area. And so at noon, they crossed the line after they heard a shot of a gun. Those people are called boomers. Now, the Sooners are people who snuck in the night before to get a head start. So, Boomer and Sooner from the land run in April of 1889. So there you have it, the answers to your burning questions about living in Oklahoma. So I'm Natalie Bratton with RE/MAX First in Oklahoma City, and I post a video every Friday about living in Oklahoma or Oklahoma real estate. So subscribe to my channel and come back every Friday to learn more about living in our great state. If you want to contact me, go to oklahomahomeseller.com and let me help you get started on your move to Oklahoma.